Today we are unwrapping
school books.
It is the middle of summer, but I went ahead and placed my order. We are doing something a little bit different this year. For many years we've used the same company, and after a not great customer service experience, I decided to swap companies. I want to share with y'all a little bit the company that I picked, the reason why I picked their company, and what I really like about the books now that we have them. This is the second box we're unboxing. I have already unboxed these books. The girls have already taken some of their books. Here is some of my teacher guides right here. So you can see the girls opening our boxes.
So this is South America, upper elementary. That's
And even though they're acting like they don't like it, they are actually excited, or they wouldn't be all up in here in my boxes. Did you like your books, Ellie? I mean, that's a yeah for school, so I'll take that. So I chose the company Gather Round. It's called Gather Round Homeschooling, and the reason why I chose this company is because I looked at several companies, but what really struck me about this company that I thought was really cool, and I'm just sharing this for some of you guys in case you kind of found yourself where I did this last year with just not knowing what I wanted to swap from the big box store where it's all-in-one company. You pay for it all up front and everything is together, and you buy it, you don't get to pick and choose anything. It's just you buy it and it is what it is. After my horrible customer service experience, I decided to start looking around. We were not using that company again. So I did choose Gather Round Homeschool. Several things I love about it. The first one is I'm one teacher and I have 4 students right now. When Livy starts kindergarten, I'll have all the way from a senior to a kindergartner. It would be nearly impossible to teach every subject to every kid every day. I would be ready to pull my hair out, which is what we were doing. Now, I did have Harley and Aiden on a DVD program last year, which helped me. So I really had 2 students to fully teach the material to. And all of that, the one thing that I really like about Gather Round, I'll be teaching. We're going to do unit studies that will cover spelling, language arts, history, science. I think that's everything together. So we'll have all those things together. I'll be doing 1st grade through 8th grade. And in my teacher book, do an Africa unit study. I will go to my lesson 1, which is what I paid for. And by the way, second major thing that I love about these books is the graphics are absolutely stunning. The graphics in the book, the way that they're printed and put together is absolutely beautiful. It's not boring. It captures your attention, which is a plus for homeschoolers, right? Go to lesson 1, and it's written out for me. So I will teach everybody at one time, which is a major, huge thing. So we will have Africa, day 1. We will look at an introduction. It talks about habitats and food. It talks about transportation, the history, and some of the culture. So that would be like lesson 1, and I would teach all of my students. Then, and here is the other cool part of that. So here is my teacher's guide. Here is my middle school 8th grade workbook. So this would be on Aiden's level. So I taught. Aiden has his own workbook on his age appropriate level. Here is Harley's workbook. So she has her own workbook on the one lesson that I taught for the day that goes along with the study on her level. Here is Eliza's early reader. No, that's Sayla, sorry. Here's Eliza's early elementary and early reader. Each student, I will be teaching material, and each student will have their own individual workbook for the one lesson that was taught during the day. All-inclusive study that touches things like grammar, language, writing. Of course, penmanship is built into it, so that's really cool. There's some geography on there. You can see that. So this touches everything except math. And we have another program that we have chosen for math. That's going to be Bob Jones. But this is absolutely amazing for large families. I cannot say enough about the graphics and the layout of the material. It's printed well. These are put together well. So far, I have been very impressed just right out of the box. I have been very impressed. Absolutely love about Gather Round is they have an app. Now, I wasn't familiar with this until I went to Facebook and found, I'm not a huge Facebook fan, I'm just going to be honest with y'all, but you can get some good, there is some good in Facebook. So, on Facebook, I was told in their page that there's an app that you can use that is like a community type app. In that app, there are resources that they have put together. So when we're doing Africa, in the certain sections that we're looking at, it has resources already put together in that app. And within that app is resources put together that goes along with lessons for each unit. So for example, Africa unit study is not the only unit study that I'm doing. There are several over there. When you get on the app and you go to the space section and you go to the lessons, under the app, there's resources put together from Pinterest activities, YouTube videos that goes along with the lesson, and all kinds of other websites, printables, all kinds of other stuff that goes right along, documentaries with what you're studying. So that was like a huge thing for me, because I found in the past that the company that we were using was so cut and dry. Here's your work, do it, get it done, and that's all it was to it. With this, I feel like learning and being able to pull in different resources that are already put together for me, because if I am doing a study with the other program for each kid on each different levels, they're all different. So last year, all their histories were different. All of their language arts, we were looking at all different things. That was not possible for me to go to somewhere like YouTube to try to find a documentary that fits them all. It wasn't doable with that program. So this is super cool. And I think that by tying in other resources like documentaries, other different printables, things that are more than just, hey, sit down and do your book work, is going to capture their attention and make it more interesting for them. And that to me was another just huge bonus. So several things. We do one lesson a day plus math. Each kid has their own workbook that is age appropriate for them. There is an app that goes along with this study that's community supported. You can ask questions. It's got tons and tons and tons of other resource information. And I think that by getting creative, and we can do projects together, we can make a cake that's made out of a spaceship pan together when we're looking at space. That's something we can do together as a family, because everybody's not on different places in school. And the graphics of these books are absolutely beautiful. Cannot say enough about that. So one thing I just realized that I left off is I bought year one unit study is what I bought. So I want to tell y'all some of the things that we're going to be looking at. I just realized, because I didn't have all the books sorted out a while ago because I was so excited, I just had to grab the camera and tell y'all. Earth Science is one of the unit studies. North America, South America, Oceans, just saw the Africa, Space, Europe, North America, Bird, Human Body, and Asia. So those will be the units that we cover all of next year. So we are excited to be changing from the standard box store, here's your school books, each kid has their own subject, individual study, to shift into more of a family-oriented style study. We are very excited about it. I cannot wait to give y'all updates on the things that we're looking at, what we've learned, and some pros and cons later on in the school year.